All right, today we're going to look at absolute value inequalities. We talked about this last chapter. We were doing absolute value equations, right? Does anyone remember when we talked about this with equations, how many different equations we set up to solve? How many? Likely two, right? So you would take it, write it exactly how you see it, and then you would write it, but you would set it equal to a what?
Negative.
Okay, so it's going to be similar today. It's a little bit different because it's an inequality and not an equation, but it's still a similar idea. Okay? Now, the other thing you need to remember, or that you need to know, is the inequality tells you if it's an and statement or an or statement, right? So does anyone think they have an idea when you see less than, if that would be an and or statement? Think about your graph. Which has a smaller graph, an and statement or an or statement?
And.
An and statement. So don't you think less than would be an and statement?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So anytime it starts with less than, you're going to have an and statement. All right. Does anyone think they know what the two inequalities might be, or even what the first inequality you might write would be? The first one's an easy one. You already see it.
Negative 3. Or
3h minus 3 is 5.
Yeah. So the first one you just write exactly how you see it. Okay. This is an and statement. Does anyone think they have an idea what the second one might be? Think about what we did when it was an equal sign.
3h minus 3 is less than negative 12.
You're close.
Greater
Than negative 12. So not only do you change the sign, you flip the inequality also. Okay? So every time you rewrite it, you flip the inequality, change it to a negative. Okay? Or just change the sign. If it's already negative, you change it to a positive. Okay? Sai, will you solve the one on the left?
Plus 3.
Okay, so you would get 3h is less than what?
15, and then divide by 3, and then get 8 is less than 5.
Okay, Gunnar, what about the one on the right?
Plus 3.
Okay, so when you add 3 to negative 12, what would that give you?
Negative 9.
So 3h is greater than negative 9.
And then divide by 3 to get negative 3.
Should I switch that inequality?
No.
Why?
Because you're dividing by positive and
Good.
negative.
Good. Okay. Right, when you graph this, what type of value would I have? What type of circle at negative 3? What about at 5? Do those go towards each other or away from each other?
Away.
Away.
Towards.
Because h is less than 5 should be going to the left. Greater than negative 3 should be going to the right. Okay? It is an and statement, so is that correct?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, so everything looks fine with that. Yes?
Yep.
Now, remember we did talk about, is it possible for an and statement to go the same direction? Like for both to go to the left? Yes, you would just shade where both things would be true. Is it possible for them to go away from each other?
No.
No. All right? So those are the things you need to be careful for. Okay? All right, let's look at w plus 5 is less than negative 8. Okay, who can tell me first what would be my two inequalities I would write?
W plus 5 is less than negative 8.
And or statement.
And.
Less than is and. Okay,
Um,
what would be my other one?
W plus 5 is greater than, or minus 5, or wait, what? Yeah, plus 5 is greater than negative 8.
No positive 8.
Positive.
Greater than positive 8.
So you
Okay? Yep. Switch your inequality, change the sign. Okay? Blakely, go ahead and solve those for me. The only thing you have to do is what?
minus 5.
Okay, so if you subtract 5 here, what's negative 8 minus 5?
Negative, what is it?
13.
13. What if you subtract 5 on the other side?
3.
Okay, so when I look at the graph of these two, I have a value at negative 13, a value at positive 3. What type of circle do I have at negative 13?
Okay.
And if it's less than, it's going to the
Left.
left. What about at positive 3?
Going to the right.
Okay, do I have an and or statement?
And
I have an and statement. They're going away from each other. What does that tell you?
It's wrong.
No solution.
No solution. Now, there's a place we should see that. Where do we see that before we even start?
starts with a negative, the answer.
Yes. Now, however, this is different from an equal sign, right? It's never possible for you to take an absolute value and get a number that's less than -8, because all numbers less than -8 are still what? Negative. Okay? So, this is only the case when it's a less than statement. Now, you still need to solve it in graph and then tell me that it's no solution. So, it doesn't matter what you're doing today, you're going to solve in graph. Okay? We'll look at one that's greater than that has a negative just to show you the difference. Okay? Questions on either of those?
Yes, sir.
Okay, let's look at the absolute value of 4p plus 2 greater than or equal to 10. Hello. I am 100% sure it's not me. Yes. Okay, I just thought I'd give somebody a heads up. Yep. Uh-huh. Okay. You want to tell me the two? Okay.
It's an or.
It is an or statement. Do you want to tell me my two equations? Or inequalities?
Plus 2 is greater than or equal to 10. And then 4p plus 2 is less than or equal to 10. Negative 10.
There we go, -10. Okay. Dell?
So you gotta solve it?
The one on the left, yeah.
Okay, -2.
Good. That give you 4p is greater than or equal to what?
8.
Alright.
5 + 4.
And you would get p is greater than or equal to
2.
2. Very good. Bailey, on the right.
-2.
What's -10 minus 2?
-12.
Okay.
Divided by 4.
Why do I not switch that inequality?
-3.
Good. Okay. Landry, the one you did, p is greater than or equal to 2, is that an open or closed circle?
Okay.
Going what direction?
That way. Right.
Okay. To the right. And Bailey, what about yours?
Close.
Going which direction? Left. Very good. Okay. Is it possible for an or statement to go towards each other?
No.
No.
Yes.
Yes.
All reals.
It would be all reals, right? An or statement that goes towards each other basically includes every number. Is it possible for an or statement to go the same direction?
No.
Yes.
Yes, it is. It doesn't happen a lot, but you guys need to know those things because it could happen. Okay? All right, two more.
If it goes the same direction, is it still all reals?
No. I can show you a quick example at the very end. Just remind me. Not like a full example, just what the graph would look like. Okay? All right. Who wants to take this one? Steele? You can have the next one, Stan.
It'd be 4n plus 3 is greater than or equal to 18, and then
And or?
4,
Okay?
and then it'd be 4n plus 3 is less than or equal to -18.
Good. Okay, go ahead and solve the one on the left.
Minus 3, 15,
So you get 4n is greater than or equal to 15.
and then you divide by 4.
Okay? Mixed number, please.
3 and 3/4.
Good. 3 3/4. Okay?
Minus 3. Negative 21. Divided by 4. Yeah, 5 and 1/4.
Okay? Oh, sorry. Alright, what type of circle at -5 1/4?
It'd be close.
Going what direction? If it's less than?
It'd go to the right.
If it's less than?
Oh, left. My bad. And then 3/4 be on
Open or closed? Good. Okay. All right. Stone.
R minus three is greater than 3 equals to -5. And
And or statement.
I have no clue. I wasn't in
Or.
that part.
Oh,
Or,
maybe you'll stay next time.
no. Okay. R minus 6 is less than or equal to +5.
Okay. All right. Solve those.
You add 6 on both of them.
Okay. What's -5 plus 6? And what's 5 plus 6?
11.
So you get r is greater than or equal to 1. R is less than or equal to 11.
Close circle, pointing towards each other.
So if I have a closed circle that's going to the right and also a closed circle going to the left, but it's an or statement, what does that look like?
The graph's all blacked out. Don't worry.
Wait,
That's
Peter,
racist,
what's the solution I think the -5?
Because of what?
The -5.
No, because this is an or statement, and here, listen, it's not an equal sign, right? If it said r minus 6 is equal to -5, sure, because you can't take the absolute value and get a negative, but we're saying numbers, any number that's greater than or equal to -5. Well, aren't there a ton of positive numbers that are greater than -5?
Yeah.
So, listen, everybody look real quick. We had this problem, right? Why was this one no solution? Because of what? It was an and statement, but the less than sign. All numbers less than -8 are still negative, so you can't take an absolute value and get a negative. That's why a less than statement will always give you no solution. But the one we just did, when it's greater than, eventually will give you a positive number. Okay? Most of the time, this is what you're going to get for your answer, all reals. Okay? All right? Any questions on that?
Do you still have to work it out if it's all reals?
You have to work it out either way. If it's all reals or no solution, yes.
You can't just graph it?
No, you have to work it out. Okay, now you don't have to write this down. Let me just show you because somebody asked. If you have an or statement that both go the same direction, like x is greater than 0 or x is greater than 3, what will your graph look like? Does anyone know?
So you can have the 2 points, and you color an arrow, or just
got it.
the 2 points. And you can
Well, technically there's only going to be 1 point. What would it be?
You start at the 0 and you go all the way to the right.
Yes. Why would I not put an open circle at 3?
Because you don't need it.
Because it's an or statement. Remember, on or statements, only one of them has to be true, right? So, can I choose 2 as a value? Yes, because 2 is greater than 0, even though it's not greater than 3. Now, when does that change? When it looks like this. When it's an and statement, you have to choose the numbers that work for both. So what is the number that is both greater than 0 and greater than 3? 4, or anything past that. So where would you put your circle here?
Right on the
On the 3.
yeah.
Open circle at 3, going to the right. Does everybody see the difference in those two things?
Do you not put one on the 0? Because it's and.
On which, on the and statement?
Yeah.
No, because for an and statement, both of those things have to be true. So if I say give me a number that's greater than 0 and greater than 3, can you choose 0?
No.
No, because 0 is not greater than 3. You can't choose 1, 2, or 3. All right?
But you just chose 3.
No, it was an open circle.
Oh, yeah.
That you put it there because you could choose 3.1.
Yeah. I understand.
Okay.